love most about Scott is that he is truly a beacon of light. I adore him for many different reasons, but I think probably for the same reasons that everyone else does, that he's a very thoughtful, very considerate person. He has a huge heart, and he has an uncanny ability to make people smile. And I feel very fortunate that he's able to make me laugh and smile every single day.
How did the two of you meet?
So,
on MySpace, initially.
I got in an email from someone. I was visiting a friend, and I like to say that because it's part of a prophecy. I actually went to a psychic one time, and she told me I would meet my life partner through a friend in San Francisco. So I was visiting a friend in San Francisco, and I went to her computer and saw a message from Scott.
I wasn't on MySpace, and I was being hounded by this woman at work to check out this new social website that she had. His profile was like one of his top 5 friends or something in MySpace. So I clicked on it, and it didn't even have a picture. It was just a picture of cupcakes, but I was like, oh, I like cupcakes, so let me.
He does.
Let me click on it. So I read through his profile, and I really liked what he had to say.
I think I got a little excited. I mean, it was just an email. But I guess when you're single, you're just thinking, is this just a friend or is this the man of my life? And I think that, not that I went to San Francisco with the expectation that I was going to meet my husband, but there was that thought too, you know, that the psychic had told me that I would be. And so I think part of me just wondered whether this was him.
But I will have to say that the psychic did call me after she gave his reading and said, you should email this guy.
Shut up. Well, my first impression of you, I guess part of me was just wondering whether it was a date. I thought we were just kind of meeting up as friends. I think we'd go see a show together, and so he looked really nervous, and so I think I was just kind of wondering why he was so nervous. But he was so cute. He had this journal that he gave me, and so it was like the first thing that he handed me almost even before saying hello to me, and so
Oh, that's right.
that was really cute. But he was kind of walked in, he was a little kind of flustered and just kind of he had his faux hawk, and he was kind of kept looking around and then kind of just handed me the journal.
So I was nervous a little bit, even though, because at this point we'd only been, corresponding via email and text messages. So when he walked in the door, I thought, oh, he looks exactly like his pictures do on the internet. And I thought he was good looking. I probably realized before he did, because he was kind of going along thinking this was more of just a friendship type thing. So I knew I was getting a little bit further involved than he was. I think for him it happened much later.
I think I had fallen in love with Scott way before I realized I had fallen in love with Scott. He, we had gone out for a while, and then there was a hiatus. We got back together because I called him, and I asked him out on a date, even though he didn't really realize it was a date. And I remember us going to an Argentinian restaurant, and as we were looking at the menus, Scott decided to get up and go to the restroom, which, seems pretty normal. And I remember that when he got up from his chair, like he was walking away, it was just this really bizarre feeling that came over me that made me feel like I was losing him somehow. And just that, me just seeing him walk away was so painful to me. And I think that was the moment that I realized that I loved him, like that I could not live without him, that I wanted him in my life. And I think I almost cried, which just seems so bizarre. But that's the moment that I realized that I loved him, that I wanted him in my life, and that I never wanted him to leave my life ever again.
I remember we had come home from being out one night, and we were going to bed, and as we were drifting out to sleep, I remember him reaching and grabbing hold of my hand, and I remember thinking, oh, this is the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with. This is the one for me.
Yeah.
I think for me, purchasing the home helped us root our relationship more, because there wasn't at that time, civil union or marriage in our state. So I think this helped us to kind of cement our relationship to one another, and that we are starting a life together, I think, for me.
I'm not sure there was ever like spoken, but I think that we also wanted to. I mean, we knew at that point that we were going to be together. We were very much in love, and we wanted to have a place of our own. Well, when we heard that civil unions were going to be legal or available in the state of Illinois, we actually got kind of excited. We had been wanting to have some sort of commitment ceremony for ourselves. We also wanted the legal protections that it offers. But then it was offered and we just didn't do anything. And we had been meaning to, and finally decided to do it around earlier this year, right? Around May 1st.
May.
Mm-hmm. So we decided to tie the knot on May 1st. But also we're a little put off by the fact that it's separate but equal. And so we wanted to make it as low-key as possible because we're hoping for the real thing. And I think part of us has just been really upset that it just, that it's not marriage, and that, while they try to convince you that it's the same, it's not. And
Let's just call it a pre-engagement until the real thing.
right.
We went to the Justice of the Peace in City Hall, and just went on our lunch hour. We didn't really tell any family members. It was just between us. And
we really just wanted to be as low-key as possible. So
we went down to the basement of City Hall and checked in with the teller, and there were a couple people before us getting married as well. So we just took a seat in the waiting room. It was very similar to like the waiting room from Beetlejuice, it seemed like. And then the judge came and got us, and she asked us to follow her into the chambers, and she asked us a couple questions. The first question was, what was it?
She asked us if we had any witnesses and if we had any rings.
Oh yeah, and when she asked if we had any rings, I said no, we didn't really think about getting any rings. We were waiting for like the real marriage ceremony, when it becomes really, truly legal. And so I said, no, we don't have any rings. And Armando says, oh yeah, I do. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, wow. And the judge said,
but I felt awful at that time because I was like, oh my God, he's going to bust out some platinum rings or something.
That's what I thought. And the judge says, see, she looks at me and she's like, see, this is what true love is all about. She's like, these little special surprises. And then he pulls out these candy rings, blue, red, and
the
green.
ring pops.
And he said, pick your color. I started laughing. And
I had options.
Yeah, and so I picked blue, and you picked
pink.
Red, I think it was.
Red.
Okay. And then we put those on our fingers. She went through the official ceremony. It was just like you hear on TV, like when people get married by the state of Illinois, or me, or whatever they say. And I now pronounce you. I think she said, I now pronounce you partners.
I don't think it really hit us that we were married until we were there.
Yeah.
I think we were just kind of going through, not necessarily the motions, but we just felt like we were doing it for the right reasons. I don't think it just really dawned on us that what we were doing until we actually were there. And we were feeling a little unprepared because when in the waiting room, like everyone was like in tux and wedding dresses, and Scott wanted to wear a wang, but I couldn't afford it, so we decided to wait. So we figured if we were as low key as possible, then we would save up for something later on.
Well, I think Armando's family was the first to find out because we went over to their house that night because his mom had made dinner, and she'll make dinner and invite the family over just on a weeknight or whatever. And Thursday was one of those nights, and we went over there, and I kind of I brought my bag in because I had the marriage certificate in the bag still, and I acted like I was just rummaging through my bag and pulling papers out. I was just haphazardly just throwing them on the table, just looking for something, and then his sister saw it, and she started screaming. She's like, what what is this? And she's like, you're married? And she starts screaming, and then she tells her mom, and her mom is like, what? And no one believes us, and they say, yeah, we're like, yeah, we got married. And
They were very excited.
yeah, they were
We got
excited.
hugs and kisses, and they were all super excited. My niece just gave me a card recently, and it said, happy birthday, Theo, and congratulations on your marriage. And on Facebook, my family wrote how much they love Scott and how happy they are that he's part of the family now. And they do love you more than they love me. Which I thought was funny at first.
Because
but
I like spicy
the clearer it gets, like every time we're with my family, I'm like, oh, okay. They really do love him more than me. So they were super excited. They were very upset as well that they weren't invited. And we were just very nonchalant about the whole thing because we really are just doing it for ourselves. But I've realized since then that, people want to be part of it. And that it's important for people to celebrate with us. And so I'm not sure I have any regrets, but I guess I would have given people heads up if we had to do the civil union thing again. But I've assured them that when we have a marriage ceremony, that everyone will be on the invitation list.
And then I think I told my family the next day, just called them on the phone because they live in Michigan, and they were very happy for us. They love Armando, and they treat him just like a son, and they were happy for us. And I think they were maybe a little bit upset that we didn't tell them beforehand, but I kind of told them the same thing, that when we really do get married, then there will be a big ceremony, and you can come and celebrate then.
Well, I think we just recently grew into a family because we have someone live with us now. His name is Chris, and he's just turned 20 years old. He actually, we actually signed up for a program called Youth Outreach Services, which is a mentoring program that helps teens with goal setting. We had heard a really horrible story in the paper, probably sometime late last year, maybe in the fall, about this one boy who was 3 years old, and he had suffered abuse last summer, and he was actually returned to his home. And so on Thanksgiving, this family noticed that he was not well, and the family went to go check up on him the next day, and he actually turned out that the family members that had noticed some abuse the day before had found him dead, and it turned out his mother's boyfriend had killed him, and he was 3 years old, and it was just really insane. And I think I was really angry at that time because I think when you are gay or lesbian, people always question whether or not you are fit to be a parent, and it just angers me as a gay man that you're constantly questioned whether or not you're fit to be a parent. But if you're straight, it's automatically assumed that you're going to be a fit parent and that you are capable of loving another child and providing for them, and that somehow we have to prove that we are capable of that. Chris, who came to live with us, who actually shares the same name as the little boy that got me the call, which I thought was pretty interesting, came to live with us right before Pride weekend, and it's been a fun 2 months, and it's really been great. And I think that he always questions why we signed up for the program, or why we would choose to participate in the program when we don't really have to. And I think that for us it's just, I don't know, it kind of feels like it was just meant to be. And we call him our godson when we introduce him to other people, and I always tell him that it's appropriate because it sounds very cheesy, but I also feel like he was sent to us from God, and I feel like he was meant to be here, and I really question why he's here or why he was placed with us. I feel that some things are meant to be in life, and I feel that it's the right time, the right place, the right moment, and he's meant to be part of our lives.
Religion plays a strong role in our relationship because we were both raised Catholic. Myself coming from a Polish Catholic family and him from a Mexican Catholic family, I think that really tied us together, and we both experienced, away from the church, and then coming back into the church. And I think that we both kind of grasped our, held that our faith together. And he teaches catechism, and I kind of assist him, and we go to church every Sunday.
I think that both of us are very spiritual and I guess religious as far as other people are concerned. I'm not sure that we see ourselves as religious. I think that we definitely believe in God and we are practicing Catholics, so I guess that would make us religious. But oddly enough, we just don't see ourselves as religious. I think that God is just naturally part of our lives, and it's more a way of living than just about going to church or opening up the Bible.
The thing I most admire about Armando is his ability to relate to kids, especially with the kids that are in the catechism class. He really knows how to reach them at their level. I really admire that about him. My life would have no meaning without Armando.
Lies.
No, that's a hard question because without Armando, I think I would just be a single guy, maybe, looking, for the right person. But I think I found the right person. So there's, there's no thinking what my life would be like without him because he's going to be there.
I love this man, so I can't. I can no longer imagine my life without him. I would definitely be devastated. It would be an understatement if anything ever happened to him. If I were to lose him, that's why I yell at him all the time to take care of himself and to eat better and to, I don't know, do whatever we need to do to make sure that he lives that he at least outlives me. Because I definitely do not want to ever have to live without him. He makes me laugh every day, and I don't know. I've never felt this way about anyone. I just really adore him.
Oh, that's sweet.